Shalom. Lord willing, this is edifying to those that's going to watch this. I gotta make sure it's sound. Gotta make sure I put that on there. Okay, I hear sound. The water low. Block you feel me. Clicking too fast. But I believe we can get into it now. Lord willing, we can dissect this point. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. Double honors to the elder apostles, and the elders of great millstone who rule well and teach well through the spirit, Salaki, and a mighty Shalom, to the hopeful elect that are scattered four quarters of the earth in the same spirit and sound doctrine, Lord willing that they can continue. Shalom to the Aquad, believers in his faith and his truth. Lord willing that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing the Most High have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that is not in the faith. Right? So, this lesson, I have to say, is inspired by the brother Yerumia. He said he had a video on TikTok was saying if you get tripped up and don't know what lesson to bring out, right? A lesson could come off of meditating on something. It could come from you watching a video. But he said, don't force the spirit. And I was already, I'm gonna come up. Most likely, the Lord is gonna allow me to come up with a lesson. But I'm sitting, and I'm like, wow, man, he on point with that. The brother Yarmayan, which is my boss at work, the head of the camp, he came up and started saying, the men of the Lord is working these jobs. He was expounding, saying, man, he said, like, we don't even really get nothing out these paychecks, But the brother been at this job I'm at right now for 20 years, right? The pay that he was getting at the time, I was getting $7, $8 at the two jobs I was working, right? And he was like, I'm just paying rent and bills. It's like, I don't have nothing to show for it. But then he was reversing it. It's like, but when you serving the Lord, you get a return. I'm like, ooh, he on point. But he said, the men of the Lord, either you working at night or you working in the morning. And then brothers find a way to do lessons. Whoever is compelled or moved to do lessons, brothers would do one early in the morning. Some brothers waking out they sleep, right? Between 11, 12, 1, 3. I know Pastor Tahar, he be waking up like around 3, maybe earlier than that. He'll go do a lesson. The brother Samuel Waller that I labor with, the elder priest of the camp, he'll wake up out of nowhere and do lessons. So when a brother said, I'm like, man, your Rumia was just saying this. And I'm like, you know what? Let me show you something. And of course, I looked up ChatGPT off of his statement, right? When he was saying that in today's society, even though the apostles, the men of the Lord had jobs too, but when you see the 12 disciples, they gave up their profession. Like Peter and his brother Andrew, they were fishermen. They were making money off of fish. Even the sons of Zebedee, John and James, they were making money off of that. They left their jobs to serve the Lord. And this side, we got all this extra stuff. You got the rent, You got the light bill, you got the heat bill, you got the car insurance, right? Yeah, you got your license, you got multiple things where you flowing money. Then your wife, if you got a wife or if you got wives, right? She might need something, she might need something, right? We're not here building wealth, but when you look at spiritually, we're building up spiritual wealth. I'm like, man, the brother is talking. He came out of nowhere right after I was listening to your Romeo, because I was really listening to a whole nother lesson. But I always go into, because I know brothers from GMS that they got a group chat with a few of them, and they'll send certain clips or videos. And I seen your Romeo drop the video, and just me watching it got done. I'm going back to my video, and the brother Yarmayan said that. So this lesson, uh, I think they're Salaki. The men of the Lord have a full schedule, working in Esau system and working for the Lord. That's a full schedule, right? You working for Esau, like some brothers is doing trucking, right? Where they able to get a few lessons, maybe a quick exhortation. You got brothers doing hard warehouse labor, right? 12 hours, 14 hours, maybe 16, getting overtime, right? Like Bishop Shakran, right? I blow well at Salaki if I didn't say your name right, Elder Salaki. But the bishop that's always teaching with Apostle Gabar, he haven't been on a Tuesday class for like, what, 3 weeks, right? Because of work, right? Because we got to provide. We might be getting short on funds, right? And when the brother was saying this, I'm like, man, you really talking, right? So the men of the Lord got they got a full work schedule. Working for Esau, they got to look at their work schedule, do the day shift, do I got a half a day or I'm not working this day, right? And then throughout working for Esau, they're working for the Lord in and out. You might do a lesson before you go into work. You might do a lesson while you at work, or you might do a lesson when you get out of work, especially when you're off. When it's your off day, you going in, right? We're really working. Like we're really in a slave plantation, and then we're servants for Yahweh Shemar Shai. We're prisoners, right? Technically slaves, but in a servant in a servant sense, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai got us laboring. Um, it's something I want to get. I think I want to read it in NLT. I think it's Second Peter's. Let me make sure. I like how it's worded because it makes it even plain, especially for you guys. Um, you know what? I'm gonna read it in the KJV and the NLT. This is, I believe, Second Peter's chapter 1. Let me see. So I can really just had it. Maybe I should have never moved from where I was at. Is this the one? Is this the one that we want? So, like you family, I'm trying to get the right one. Just bear with me. I'm trying to make sure I get the right one. Right? The men of the Lord have a full schedule. You know, women should definitely take heed, especially if you about to be with a man of the Lord. So, like, I was going to the wrong verse. So this is First Peter chapter 1 in verse 12, but I also have verse 11 in the KJV. And it reads, it says, searching what manner of time the spirit of Hamashiach, which was in them, did signify when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Hamashiach and the glory that shall follow. unto whom it was revealed that not unto them themselves, but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Rakakwadash, sent down from heaven, which things that angels desired to look into. In the NLT, verse 11, it says, they wonder what time or situation the spirit of Hamashiach within them was talking about when he told them in advance about Hamashiach's suffering and his great glory afterward. They were told that their messages were not from themselves, but for you. And now this good news has been announced to you by those who preach in the power of the Rakakwadash, sent from heaven, right? Because this is a heavenly conversation. It says, it is all so wonderful that even the angels are eagerly watching these things happen, right? Yahushua suffered. When we go, it's another one in the second chapter where Yahushua left us an example because he suffered. Now, Yahushua didn't have a place to lay his head. We over here got a place to lay. It might not be the best. You might be in a so-called PJs, right? A housing complex, right? But you still have a house. You still have a head to lay your head on a couch or a bed. You get your TV, you got your Wi-Fi, you got your cable if you got it, right? You got a refrigerator. Your Hawashai was always on the move. But with our situation, right, you got to suffer paying this bill, paying that bill, that bill. Your Hawashai was on the move. So it was about the ministry, and it was really about faith with the disciples. Wherever they went, they were provided with food. Now with us, right, of course we going grocery shopping, we doing all these things, but when you look at our time, you suffer where majority of our people, starting with the women, is on food stamps, right? Because if you making enough just to pay your rent, your light, your gas bill, and maybe your car insurance or your car lease and gas on the car, however that works, right? And then you look, the prices of groceries or food is going up higher, that we're not hunting for our food. Like they were just going fishing. On this side, you need a fishing license. We need a fishing license. Now, of course, even in that time, Rome was taxing. We're in a time where you're getting taxed. But hey, in order to hunt, you need a license to hunt deer or to hunt moose, right? You need a license for those things, right? So we're in a bender because it's an imitation or a reflection of Yahushai, especially those in the faith. Starting with you men, right? Of course, you women, your main focus outside, say if you is working, you come home, you attend to the house, you make sure everybody good, everybody comfortable, right? The comfort, the nourishment, food, and then you might rest, right? Then you gotta clean, right? That might sound hard when you're doing it all the time, but that's an easy job, right? The men of the Lord, they have to work for Esau, right? Even if you women can too, right? But majority of women, they want to go have fun. But outside of that, a man outside of doing house chores and all this other extra stuff, a man has to lay himself down for the elect's sake. Physically, we're not getting on the cross because this is our bodies is not blemished, right? So we're laying ourselves down spiritually because we have a spirit within us that's a quickeneth. It made us alive. Now we're teaching the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Women and children and most men is not doing that, right? And sometimes it can be a burden, but what did it say in verse 12? It says the angels are eagerly watching these things happen. So think clearly and exercise self-control. Look forward to the grace, salvation that will come to you when Yahushua is revealed to the world. Now, is another one I want to get. Um, I want to get this one, and I got another one. This is Romans 10 and 15. It says, and how shall they preach except they be sent? And I did a lesson, if you go on my channel, or how you know a prophet's in the midst of you, or how do you know you're a prophet. except they be sent. And as it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel, which is the good news of peace, and bring glad tidings, glad news of good things, right? And it's another one I want to line that with is Ephesians, the 6th chapter. Is it verse 13? Nope, it's 15. Ephesians 6 and 15. In the KJV, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. What's the word for preparation? Salaki. I don't know if my sound is not working.
Strong's G 2091. Hetoimasia. Hetoimasia.
The biblical usage for this word preparation in Ephesians 6 and 15, it goes into the act of preparing, the condition of a person or a thing so far forth as preparedness, readiness. That's what this preparation is, the act of preparing. So the difference between the job we have for Esau and working for Yahweh Shema Shai is that we're preparing Jake for what's to come. We're preparing Jake for the kingdom. We're preparing Jake that, hey, the MOTB coming. We're giving attributes to Jake like, hey, as a man, this is how you should move. Hey, sister, this is how you should move. Hey, sis, this is how you have to break the Western mindset that you have, right? Because we already know if we just speak about it, the number one thing a woman has a problem with. But it's everything that a woman is taught on this side. Everything. Break those things, right? Because we're trying to prepare you for what's to come in the kingdom. This is why a lot of men and women mortify the things of the flesh when they come in the truth, and while they're in the truth, every day they're mortifying, they're putting to death, right? Because a lot of those things will be uh, detrimental, Lowell, and I'm saying the right word, to us in this ministry. So the more we cut the access or the foreskin of the heart of those things, the more we can actually walk in the spirit and actually be the man and the woman Yahweh Shemal Shai want us to be. But this is why when we deal with working for Esau and paying your rent, doing your license, that builds up your discipline, right? These are side precepts from the main precepts, right? I got my tablet right here, but I'm trying to give you these ones before we get in there. I got to go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. For the very true beginning of her, which is talking about wisdom, Sophia in the Greek, is the desire of discipline. The care of discipline is love. And if we love Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, 1 John 3 and 18, ye little ones don't love in word and tongue, but love in deed and truth. Deed as an action. Truth is this word. Truth is that wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Truth is Yahweh Shai. So we must be disciplined. So working for Esau through the spirit, when you look at it, it builds discipline. Some brothers or sisters is waking up at 4 in the morning to go to work, you know, but really towards you men because you're teaching for the Lord. You know how much is what is the Lord a woman really doing for the Most High? Because the husband set the rules in the house. The husband like, yo, babe, yo, you slacking. Hey, you gotta be teaching them children, right? She's gonna listen to her head, and if the head is the man of the Lord, he's gonna be pushing that edification for the women to edify the children, so that she can build discipline. The more she's attentive to the children. Oh, I need a babysitter. I want to go do this. Sometimes, sis, you might not even be able to go do that. And you got to enjoy what you have in your household because you want to make sure that you're proving to the Lord that you want this, right? So sometimes you sacrifice a lot of the things that you used to doing. I'm used to doing this. I'm like used to doing that. Sometimes in this truth, compared to the world, sometimes you're going to have to be bored. What the world would say, man, you boring. But really, you're not. When your bills is paid, you got a few dollars in your pocket, right? And then you waiting for the next check because most of us is living check to check, you know? Even though we could probably get more money, some of us, a few of us, brothers I talk to, we're just trying to get our daily bread because I want to have as much time as I can to dedicate to the ministry of the Lord and for the elect. I don't want my time super consumed with things of the world, right? Let alone when a man has a woman and children, or women, wives and children. Sometimes it can consume your time. But if the spirit is really moving with you, a man will balance it out in a way that's beneficial for him, not beneficial for the woman. And even a woman of the faith is gonna be like, yo, this man is working for Esau and he working for the Lord. So the things that a man do, if a man is doing something with a woman Monday through Wednesday, Monday through Friday, or Monday through Sunday, or if he doing it spontaneous, that girl, if she is of the faith and she know that this man is working for the Lord, through the spirit, she gonna be like, yo, this man, how he got time. We just read it. We just read it in 1 Timothy 1:12. The angels was eager, like, how they gonna finish this? How they doing this? Right? We doing it through the Rakakwa. But a woman on the earth, right? Let me show you this picture right here. I showed my brother Yarmayan. A woman of the faith is going to be stuck. This man putting time in me and the children when he can, and he working, and he serving the Lord. Like, and then you trying to analyze, man, it's only 12 hours in a day, 12 hours at night. This man working 14, 12 hours, maybe on a truck. Like, how is he doing this? You know? Now, some brothers probably got baby mama problems, maybe on child support, visitation, and their job some brothers got jobs that make them go to city, but it's still different because a woman of the faith will be like, he's still doing lesson, he's still calling me. Sometimes he might have me in the truck with him, and I'm traveling with him, you know. But this is an image I got. I think this is a girl on. I forgot what movie she on, but outside of this verse, just look at the picture, right? It says when he starts dropping biblical knowledge, right? Do the spirit of women get attracted, right? When we look at Rebecca, when she seen Isaac, she put her veil away. Who was that? He took her right to his mom's tent and got busy. She, hey, no, hold on, I don't know you. It was over. When that man knew what he wanted, it was over. It was said and done. You know? Even when we look at Rachel and Leah, right? They had children. Then they say, hey, get my concubine, because men, we're really supposed to be fruitful and multiplying, right? But since we on this side and the main focus of ministry, women of the faith is intrigued by men feeding the sheep, right? And even us brothers, we got to sit. Apostle Tahar is doing 7, 20 videos in a week. How the heck is this man doing it? Right? And the more you're going to be intrigued and know it's the Rakakwadash that's moving Apostle Tahar to do that. Right? Salaki family, man. I work with some dust and dirt. I don't know what the heck is going on, but it's messing up my nose. Salaki family. Salaki. So let's get back on track. So the point is, Israelite men in 2025 are hard-working slaves and still serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Again, Israelite men, even you women, are still in hard bondage, working jobs in Esau's system as modern-day slaves. Yet, in the spirit, we're serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And this is why, in this captivity, we're going to remember the Heavenly Father and the Son in our captivity. That's why it's good to have these jobs. Because the more you're like, man, I can't stand being here. Waking up early. People got a smart-ass mouth, right? Like my job, you're supposed to be able to lift 70 or 80. They'll have you lifting 120. So I'm working out even at work. And I'd be like, I'll work out and do my thing, but I sit back just like a regular Jake, in my inside complaining. They don't pay me enough to overwork out. In the beginning, I was doing it to strain my strength for this because your machine broke, and y'all making a heck of money, and y'all can't fix the machine. I see what my brother got to go through, because if I mess up or another person mess up, he get the blame for it, and I be sitting back like, heck no. Just like what happened at work today, uh, um, like long paper we supposed to put in another paper recycle area, and not in the joint that shred paper, because it can jam the machine. Yeah, man, I was like, man, go ahead and do it. He said, man, and I said, nah, man, I don't want nobody to get in trouble. He said, look, I'll take the blame for it. I went to the machine, and he said, man, just dump it in there. I'm listening to him because I'm dumping it in there, but I started thinking about my brother. I'm not, he at MIC, and anything that somebody, he got to take the blame. I said, heck no, if the machine do jam, I'm gonna put it on myself. So before I even did it, I started ripping all the paper into small squares for like 20, 40 minutes, because the other joint was full, and the OG didn't try to empty it. So I'm shredding the paper with my hand, and I dumped it, and it was good. But it was just me thinking of that brother's position, that the blame would be on him if that joint jam on my behalf. No, that's not happening, right? But it goes off of the same. While we doing these things at work, brothers is thinking of lessons. I look at myself that I love my brother, just like Jonathan loved David. I love this man a lot. The first brother that I came across in this truth, and been with him since. That's the main one, right? And outside, like a window shopper, I'm seeing other men that's in this faith working jobs that I'm not even working, and the things they going through, right? Brothers probably plumbing, brothers probably doing construction, right? They might be able to only do at least a good 4 videos, 3 videos out the week, and maybe do a camp. Sometimes they might miss camp, right? Because we still in Esau's kingdom, you know? So let's get this in Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. This is a classic. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. And Baruch was speaking in the time of Babylon. But a lot of what Jeremiah and Baruch was bringing forth was even speaking about future Babylon, right? Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. He didn't give a date or this date. These scriptures was written for our learning. We are in captivity now. We are still in captivity. Just because you're not getting beat with a whip, right now, it's the labor you do at your 9 to 5 or your 5 to 9, right? Or whatever you're doing to get 6 figures. Some of us has been in our back. I'm seeing OGs at work, their knees going out, and they still working. I see people retire and come back because been working there for 20, 30 years. And the retirement, I thought retirement, you're supposed to just be sitting and chilling, collecting a check. It's over. They not even getting enough now in a retirement plan. Even if it's an Edomite, this is captivity, especially when I'm seeing the Edomite work the same hours as me, right? I'm getting the same pay as him, and he been working at that job for 10, damn near 20 years. So I'm not about to strain my knees, and this man had to get surgery on his knees, right? You got other Jake, right, breaking fingers at work, right? Scattered again, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? We wake up every day approach and a curse, right? They say slavery is done with, but they'll put in a memorial or a documentary what they was doing to you, right? Because they're reminiscing on what they did to you, and they're making money off of what they did to your forefathers. Now, you got to prove that you are a product of slavery now. Donald Duck wants certain museums that speak about slavery to chim it down like it was real terrible and worse. Yes, the hell it was. We wake up every day approach and a curse. Watch on certain documentaries where Jake was hung on a tree like a damn ornament. And we paying taxes. A lot of y'all don't know health insurance, car insurance, all of them benefited off of the slave trade. And some of them old names of the insurance back then is still here today. Still here today. So when you look at a stem of Progressive, uh, uh, Geico, a lot of them had the stem from an olive branch that was already in the stem. According to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh Shemashai, our power, right? And Jake, this is not only in Babylon, because the northern kingdom was in America, right? The north country. Then the Europeans came over here and they started to fuck with the northern kingdom. But guess what? The northern kingdom was already cleaving to the old gods on the other side of the flood, and they brought that shit here. They were sacrificing they own fellow men and women. You had Ephraim against the Mexicans, just like what we see in gang-related violence, right? I want to get another one, Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh Shemashai shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. In a want of all things. You want to start a business? You need your oppressors. What Jake started, I started this from the ground up. Technically, I get you, but you still need the Esau money. You had to order certain equipment for your business or clothes. You don't make your own cotton. When have you, for your business, went to a field of cotton and collected mad cotton and then distributed your items? What about the fabric? Because there's some brothers that sell shoes. They create and sew shoes, but where they get the fabric from? We gotta serve. We gotta go to them for hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. When you go to Limitation, the 5th chapter, you pay for water and wood. So if you got a chimney or a fireplace, but like brothers in the hood, you ain't cutting your tree. And guess what? Especially if it's in a community like a complex, you can't cut that tree because now you're gonna have legal problems. So now you got to go to the store. What is it, Lowe's, a Home Depot, right? And you got to go buy wood. Where trees naturally grow in the earth, water naturally, right? You can't even collect rainwater. Come on, man. The clothes you got on your back, without Esau, you would be booty naked. Guess what the men of the Lord, even you women, because I'm using you women because y'all working too, but this is a 2 double whammy for the men of the Lord because they have a double shift. They're working for Esau and working for the Lord. You women are not. You're working for your household. You're working for your husband. Some of y'all might be single. You're working for yourself, right? And then if you're doing something for the ministry, you're doing something for the men of the Lord, right? Which is honorable in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? But when a man is working and he get a woman, she want a purse, she need dress, she needs socks. I need this. I need my hair done. I want my nails. And she might have money in her pocket, but she's saving her bread maybe to pay this bill. So let me use yours. You know, we just recycling money back to our oppressors. You pay a Jake to braid your hair, and Jake use whatever that they collect. They take that back to go wholesale and get lace fronts, wigs, and weave to be able to do somebody's hair. They do makeup. You pay for the makeup joint on your face, and they use some of the money that they get from all their customers, and they ante it all together, and they go wholesale and buy more from Esau. You buying an outfit from somebody that made it from scratch, right? You paying them, but guess what? They got to double back and go get the fabric wholesale. And the man is busting his ass at work to make sure the women, the children got sneakers, right? We got a trend where if your kids not wearing Nikes or J's, they a bum. Them little kids is not thinking about how fly they is. They about to go mess them damn shoes up as soon as you say they could go outside. Or when they at school running around. Right? Limitations 5 and 8. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. Right? Brothers working four days in a row. Some brothers might be working more. Right? And then by the time you have off, right, you still got work because you got to work for the Lord. But even if we just use just working for Esau, your sleeping pattern is not in correct order, right? Hey, you still getting some sleep, but you excited because you off of work. Like me, when I get off of work, I'm still amped, right? I'm tired. I want to go to sleep, but guess what? What I do? Work, use the bathroom, read, and teach. Sleep. No, I'm putting it in beside it. I might be watching something spiritual, a TV show, a movie, right? I'm watching something, right? I might watch a fight. Just in a certain way to enjoy. I just bust my butt at work. You know what? I'm working for the Lord. Instead of me, hey Lord, give me this and all of that. I'm about to sit down, maybe watch a YouTube video, maybe watch an old movie I watched them there 20 times, Fast and the Furious, right? And then be talking to the TV. Man, that's a Jake right there. You know? I want to kick my feet up like these Edomites is. But I know my job is for my discipline, right? To show me through the spirit how I make sure I'm at work on time, clock in on time. They give you an extra $50 if I think in 30 days, if 6 weeks, if you on time all the time. I'm on time all the time. Stay the whole shift. I'm great at what I do because I learned from the men that was already doing it. You know, if I could do those things, I should be going harder for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? Even in slavery, we serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Let's get Baruch chapter 2 and verse 30 and 31, right? The same thing in ancient Babylon, the Persian Medes, the Greek captivity, the Roman captivity, even in the hands of the Africans, the Arabs, right? And the same in America, in 4 quarters of the earth, is that same motion. The same thing we about to read, it happened, right? But when Rome fell, it was a falling away. So we didn't have the name of the Lord. But now that quickening spirit, Baruch chapter 2, verse 30 and 31, for I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. We're going to remember ourselves, right? Oh, can you prove that you're an Israelite? Yes, I can. Oh, how do you believe? Because my spirit bear witness with this. Let alone, even though I've been in foster care, I know who my father and my mother is. But even if I didn't know my father and my mother, I I believe that I'm a descendant of those that was in the slave trade. I believe it, right? I haven't had a clarity. Oh, I'm a full African. I'm an Arab. I'm a Muslim. I'm Chinese. I haven't seen it, and I I I had a point in time of being in an area where it was racist Edomites. I was in a time where a mother, to me, how I might look at it, my mother had a red eye towards us. I was in foster care. I didn't see her fight for us. Now that's my old. That's what I see now that I'm older. But as a kid, I always thought if she's gonna get us, she's gonna get us, right? CPS ain't take you away unless you doing something. If kids not going to school, or if they see something neglection, and they give that parent enough time to try to get them children back. I didn't get back with her. Just foster home, foster home. Oh, this mainly happened to Israelites, right? Not having a father, didn't know who my father was. My name Terrence, named by a man that's not my father. But then I find out, oh yeah, I'm definitely, without even knowing my nationality, I know a guarantee that I'm an Israelite, just off of those things, right? Single parent households, right? Having a mother or relative females where they hair couldn't even go past their damn shoulders. Isaiah 3, 17 to 24. They're bald, right? Some of them got alopecia, just like Jada Pinkett, right? Having family members, women that's obese, or men. We go into the Greek, the Israelite women, they lost their beauty, or their beauty was removed from them, right? I know I'm in the ghetto. What does ghetto mean? Where the Jews reside, right? Most family members, friends, and homies is living in the projects or living in the hood where it's two-bed the house next door. Oh yeah, definitely believe that I'm an Israelite. So in the land of my captivity, I'm gonna remember who I am. I'm a seed of Jacob, right? Doesn't matter if I know what prophet or What father in the ancient world can I do a DNA test? The Lord don't say that in the scriptures. By faith and by spirit bear witness that we the people, right? Salaki. So verse 31, Lord willing, Salaki, Salaki, forgive me, man. Salaki. Oh, it's not. Salaki, man. Salaki again, man. This Baruch chapter 2, verse 31, it says, and shall know that I am Yahweh Shema Shai, their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear. Right? The Lord gonna give you a mind and ears to hear. Right? Not all of us is gonna have an ear to hear. Right? Not all of us is gonna have a heart, a mind to want to receive this. Right? Especially a man that's working, you especially a man in the world got the video game. I want to travel. I'm making money. They not putting time to know who they is. They not putting time to understand who Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai is. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Those in the world that's not doing both, serving the Lord and working for Esau, they're not thinking on his name. Now it could be some of us that's working for Esau and doing the work of the Lord, but we probably saying Yahuwah Yeshua, right? Guess what? We still have to get builded up, still have to get corrected, right? Because until Yahweh shall come, until that famine of the word come, it's always time for improvement, always time to better yourself, always time to sharpen yourself, right? And that's the whole point why I use what Yarmayan said, that we're working and we're working for the Lord. And then I started thinking, these 5 to 9s, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 5 to 9, or whatever job you're doing, that all helps you have discipline. Don't you know when you at work, you have temperance? Even though somebody piss you off, you be like, man, how can I handle this instead of cussing them out? Some people can't handle their anger, but me, I'm going to have to deal. Or I'll be like, yo, what with my brother Yarmayan? Because he's older than me. He has experience with the experience. Sometimes I'll be stubborn with myself. Nah, man, I got this. But I'm always examining the brothers that's around me because them brothers have experience for their age. Even if I do, right? And as a student, I'm supposed to apply myself in a certain way with wisdom at work. So when I'm able to deal with my temper at work, I should be able to handle my temper at home. I should be able to handle my temper when I'm out on the highways and byways. It's learning all around, right? It's learning all around, right? Let's go to Joshua. It's just saying, is anybody learn anything? Just put a 1 in the comment section. For those that's watching now and those that's watching later, just put a 1 in the comment section if you're understanding, right? This is Joshua 24, and if you're not getting it, just put a number 2 in the comment section, and then do the Beyonce slide to the left. This is Joshua 24, verse 14 and 15. The point is 15. It says, now therefore, fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and serve him in sincerity and in truth. You have to be sincere and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? Before we went into Egypt, what was on the other side of the flood? Right? The gods that we can always trace back to Abraham's father. Those gods. Right? It was idols even before the Israelites came into play, because they were set up to be that stumbling block for those that don't believe, and then going all the way to Egypt. Why do you think Jake always thinking about a calf or a half animal, half man, right? Esau put it in movies. That all stems back into Egypt gods, right? Verse 15, and if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahweh Shema Shai, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood. What fathers, right? Going all the way from either, let's just use Abraham's father on the other side of the flood, right? Because he was not serving Yahweh by Shema Shai. That's why the Heavenly Father removed Abraham from his kindreds, right? From his family in that country. Um, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in those land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This a man of the Lord, true man of the Lord. This is not something like, even though through the spirit we want to be told this. Hey, yo, keep serving, keep enduring, right? Y'all Sam always out of nowhere. Hey, brothers, yo, I hope brothers are still enduring and keep pushing. You need that encouragement, even if you are already doing it. Through the spirit, it be feeling like, man, the Lord watching, or the Lord wanted a brother to do that to uplift you, right? You might be doing a lesson, and it's not just only because the lesson for the elect, but even more, brothers coming in this thing, you want to feel you doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You doing the work for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, so it's the same when we working for Esau. You wanted that dedication. You ain't never late. You ain't giving your boss a hard time. You're doing what he say. You're agreeing with your adversary quickly. We should be agreeing with Yahweh Shem Yahushai quickly. And that's the same with that verse where he said, agree with your adversary. You doing those things, you're listening. You're having obedience to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Our reasonable service is to present our body a living sacrifice, to be holy, which is set apart from this world, acceptable unto the Most High. So every day you're trying to make yourself appear to the Lord to be acceptable. You want Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to accept you. This is why every day you want to mortify yourself. You want to mortify the things of the flesh. What else? This is our reasonable service. This is your reasonable service. This is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Let's go to Colossians, the 3rd chapter, in verse 23 to 24. It says, and whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and not unto men, knowing that of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Hamashiach. Right? Yes, we're going to receive a reward from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We're not doing it only for the reward, but literally what he said, and whatsoever you do it heartily as unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, not unto men. So everything you do, when you work in your job, yes, you working for your boss, but you doing it like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Like when I'm at work, I know the Lord watching me. From good things to mistakes, from thoughts that I might think of. He's there. He's watching. How I'm paying attention to things that I gotta do, how I'm supposed to do my job. He see what I'm doing. Am I being lazy and slothful? If you lazy at your job and you being slothful, you bucking up against your boss, you doing that, you bucking up against the Lord, even in this truth. Because the Lord even says, right, do and whatsoever ye do it heartily as unto Yahweh Shemar, not unto men. Right? You might be loving your wife, leading your wives and your children the way that you want them to lead, but you're not doing it to pleasing them. You're doing it to please Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? A woman was created for the man, not the man created for the woman. So now you as a man, now that you got this woman, now she can either be a headache or a gift. She could be a problem or a gift, right? Because a real woman of the Lord is a gift. She has to be loving and silent, right? Be a woman that wants to be in order, a woman that wants to be subjected, a woman that wants to have somebody to have authority over them. That is just like a child. Tell your child, man, go out, leave the house and go figure it out for yourself. They don't got no money. How the hell they gonna do it? No ID, no license. They need us. So just the same with a woman, she's a grown child. So how we treat her, we got to do it like we doing it for the Lord. Because Yahweh Shai, he has a wife. That's the nation of Israel, which is really the elect on this side. That wife has to be submissive and do their husband desire. So we're moving off the desire of Yahweh Shai because we're his wife. So the same as a man, if you have a physical wife or wives, right? You supposed to be like a woman's supposed to look at you like Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, right? You supposed to be imitating Yahweh Shai. 1 John 2:6, if ye abide in him, you must walk as he walked. So for you, you should be like on this side, women are getting pampered. But through the spirit, women are getting pampered by you putting order in the house. By you bringing the Rakak Wadash, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? Most women on this side got children. Right? Right? Like most of us is with a woman that already had children before us. Right? I would love a virgin. I would love a woman even if she didn't have no children. But I'm gonna be attracted to a woman that have children because that even lets me know if you could be a mother. We can't take away from a woman that never had kids. But at the end of the day, now, even though the father of that child should be be doing what they're doing for the children too, because that's the role of a father. But if a man is moved taking care of the mother and the children, and you doing it heartily, order, this and that, through the spirit, the Lord is watching you in the spirit. What is making you have order? What's making you discipline and correct your wife and have her move a certain way? Have her covered a certain way. Have your children or your daughters a certain way. If they climbing up trees, hey, no, you got to dress. You can't climb. No. You can't do that. You got to think you're growing into a woman. You doing that heartily, like you doing it unto the Lord. Because if you're not doing it hard for the Lord, you gonna let your wife and your children, babe, you do whatever you want. Oh, you can have freedom. Go do whatever you want, daughter. Hey, do this and do that. Nobody asks you, can they do this? Because they know they can run over you, right? Everything a man does, you have to do heartily like you're doing it unto the Lord and not to men. Even you women, it's the same thing right through the spirit. Even though you have a husband and children, you're doing it heartily for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai because that's your role. The role of a woman, right, is to maintain the house. The role of a woman is to nourish, right, and comfort the husband and the children and the husband, right? Let alone be that sister if a single sister come across, a sister that don't have a head, right? You're going to guide her and lead her and teach her to be subject to her husband when she get one and to love her children if she has some or if she don't, right? And she might build up and grow. And if you got a husband, hey, if it comes, she might be attracted. Guess what? You already built her in a way that she's supposed to be, that's a pleasing to a man of the Lord. Now, there you go. You want friends. You lost your family. You lost your cousin, your auntie. Guess what? That's your friend right there, right? Now, it could be women in his faith too, like me and my brother, his wife, and my household. We're connected like Wi-Fi, right? Because the Lord blessed both of us with that type of household outside of other brothers. So, we might do more with each other. Might have a dinner, right? And guess what? The women is gonna do it heartily and cook that food, make it good. Maybe they might even cook for the other brothers, right? And they're doing a due service because through the spirit, when they feed the men of the Lord, it's like you're feeding Yahweh Shai. It's an endless thing, serving Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So while we work for Esau as modern slaves in this kingdom, in the spirit, we're truly laboring for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai until he delivers us. So even when you working for Esau, that goes with this, right? Which, the slave in slavery, they try to butcher this and use this against you, right? But if it was actually taught correctly, we would have understood it. Where we at? I think it's in First Peter's. This is First Peter's chapter 2 and verse 13. It says, "Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man of Yahweh Shemashai's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme." So we're supposed to submit ourselves to the ways of Esau. Now, of course, he got certain things that's abomination or sin, right? We're putting the ways and the laws and the faith of Yahweh Shemashai over anything. But majority, guess what? You're not driving without a license. You're not. I mean, of course, I did it too. You might get away with it, but for real, because then it's gonna come other problems, right? You driving a car with a you gonna make sure you driving a car with insurance and license plate, because most likely You're going to get flagged. They're going to run you the computer, and then you don't got that. That's going to bring problems, right? It says, or unto governors, as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers, for the praise of them that do well. For so is the will of the Most High, that with well doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men, as free and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as the servant of Yahweh Shem Shai. Just because we are the children of Yahweh Shem Shai, we don't have to be malicious towards Esau. You freaking devil. Guess what? Your boss, most likely, he could be an Israelite. You never sit down and talk down and walk with him. But then another thing, you're not going to mix work with pleasure. Now, even though the work of the Lord is work, but even more, this is pleasure. This is spiritual pleasure right here, because this is the pleasure of Yahweh Shemel Shai, his will. Because the Lord is going to do all his pleasure in the end. That's Isaiah 46:10. So if you in this faith teaching, this is pleasure, right? Because the Lord is using you to bring forth that gospel, right? Verse 17, honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear the Most High, honor the king, right? We supposed to love the brotherhood, and we honor the king. I'm not going around, yes, hell, Donald Duck. You know, I'm not about to go look for Donald Duck Twitter and go cuss this man out, man. F you, man. You never know the weapons or the things that they can do. You know, we're being at peace with all men, and the Lord just sent us here to teach this word, right? Our weapons is not carnal, right? Our weapons is spiritual, to pulling down strongholds. That's all we came to do. And if you got a household, you came to build them up, love them, and guide them to the kingdom. That's it. Close the door, wake up, do it over again. Close the door, wake up, do it all over again, right? You might meet some people on the way, some people that might cleave, some people that might grow, and you're gonna have discernment on the people that you keep around you. Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the forward, right? And even back then, you had Pharisees that had servant Israelites that was under them, working under them. Guess what? They had to uh, uh, be submissive to their master. They had to submit to their master, and even more, that the Pharisees was trying to submit to Rome, but they was doing it overboard, like Diddy, TD Jakes, those that's getting a 501c3, right? You going overboard. You becoming a simp, right? Just follow what they want, you know. Like I'm living where I'm at. I'm not about to just go and break windows, right? If rent going up, oh, let me cut trees, let me hit people's cars, let me go egg and torch the main office. What if that cause a reaction, and that affects everybody over here? Just like when they had 4th of July, these nigglets at the basketball court shooting their fireworks, and it was messy the next day, and they said, if you don't clean this up, we taking the rims. They took the rims for like man, how many damn years? 2-3 years. Now they put them back up. You know, we gotta really submit. Like we not put in this captivity just to be wild. Mainly serve Yahweh Shem Al Shai, lead your family, love, cuddles, hugs, and kisses. But the main focus is serving Yahweh Shem Al Shai, and you gotta provide. Right? Just get your daily bread and keep it moving. Right? So with these things, we're showing that the scriptures make it clear that the slavery and hard bondage the Israelite men face is temporary, right? Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, promised that once our punishment is fulfilled, he will flip everything and put us into rulership. Now, I just want to get something, because this is temporary. That's why you should be moving like, man, it's temporary, right? Be simple. Don't put too much on your life. Now, if you got the funds, you're capable of doing those things, hey, you go do it. But as a man of the Lord, you putting more time in Yahweh Shem Shai if you can. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17. For our light affliction, which is for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. right? This is just for a moment. But everything we do every day, we're working towards a more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Right? Where you should be working towards the things that are eternal. Like literally, my mind said, fuck this place. But I'm gonna do what I got to get my daily bread and keep it moving. Lesson, lesson, look, I haven't even played ball in the last 2 years. Basketball is my thing, right? Making some music just to listen to for myself. Man, I gave it up. It's still there. I can I can go in the studio. I can go play ball whenever. But the more I dedicate to teaching or reading or building with brothers, sharpening my sword, it's not enough time in a day. But when I was dedicating myself to music, I was doing less reading. I would teach a lot still, but I wasn't growing because I was stagnant from what I was seeing for myself, you know. But I'm still able to do these other things. It's just I have more interest on this side, and that's what happens when you have real interest in the Lord, or if you have control, self control. Brothers is able to multitask, right, and do extra things and still get their videos in, still get a chapter in, right? Let's go to Isaiah 14 and 3. And this is what it says. It says, and it shall come to pass in the day of Yahweh Shemel Shai, shall give thee rest from thy sorrows, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Hard bondage in ancient Babylon, hard bondage in the Persian Medes or the Greek captivity, the Roman captivity. Now we in America, right? The Lord is gonna let us free from this. You don't even know what real freedom is. Oh, I clocked out from work. Oh, I took a 30-minute break. I took a 15-minute break. You don't even know what a break is. You don't even know what a vacation truly is, right? We're gonna have an endless vacation in the kingdom. This is Jeremiah 30 and 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh Shemel Shai of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off his neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Right? Let's even go. What was that? This is verse 8 in the NLT. It says, for in that day, says Yahweh of heaven's army, I will break the yoke from their necks and snap their chains. Foreigners will no longer be their masters. Right? Esau, these other nations ain't gonna be our masters no more. So keep working, brother. Keep being diligent at your job. Keep being diligent for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? Cause you about to get a real vacation soon. And you gotta have a mindset the Lord can be coming tomorrow. He can be coming next. And for me, when I do those things, it makes me more anticipated, or I'm more ancient. I mean, more excited, more amped, right? It makes me more into this teaching. It makes me more into learning. It makes me more into walking this thing out, right? Limitations 4 and 22. I read verse 21. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Right? When we look, I think it's Jeremiah 48. We wasn't supposed to drink of this cup, but it was meant for us. We wasn't supposed to. The nation of Israel was supposed to be in no slavery, but this story was made in a way for us to actually drink of that cup, especially because us being in this flesh, and for Yahweh Shai and the things that he was going to do for us, right? But Esau is going to drink of that cup because it's going to come to pass. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Our punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished soon as he gave us the breath of life. You are still physically in slavery, but truly through the spirit, we are free. Now that this wisdom and knowledge coming out, it's over. It's already done, man. Now, if we was to say 56 years ago, and the truth wasn't, the wisdom knowledge wasn't here, nobody understood shit, then we could say, we ain't even out this thing yet. But now that this truth is out, we're out of here, man. We just waiting for when the Lord set the other prophecies, but guess what? He's not doing it on our time. He set everything in motion to get to that moment. He's allowing what they did in the time of Noah and Lot, right? Noah was building that boat, that ark, for 100 years and prophesying between that time, and they was never cleaving. So it don't matter how long on this side, as long as you teaching and believing, the Lord is about to make things rock and shake. We already seen that example with the 9/11, right? When you see a Hurricane Katrina, that was all the Lord. But even more, when the Seabiscuit, the Drewski in the arm, when that joint got pushed out here in 2020, that was an experiment, right? A testing to see how many we can get. We in a beautiful time right now, right? We got a few more, and then I'm let you guys go, right? Salaki. Okay, let's get Daniel 7 and 7 to 18. This is going into Israel will be rulers. That's why it's very important to endure to the end, right? Just because you know there's a reward in there, but as you're going to endure to the end. That's the point. Daniel 7 to 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Right? While you still in this captivity, even when you work in your job, you got to have a kingdom mindset. Do you have a full freedom mindset? Like freedom. What freedom look like? Spiritual powers. Being one with the Lord. Right? Not having to teach your brothers, your sisters, this truth. They already know it. I want the feminine word to come right now. Right? 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So your mindset, even when you work in these jobs, for Esau, you serving the Lord, you serving the Lord and building, growing in discipline, growing in diligent, your mind should be Esau end is coming. You got to be all nice to master. Hey, yo, what you want me to do? Or hey, we gonna be short staffed. Can you come in? Yeah, I'm gonna come in. But your mind is, hey, yeah, I'm gonna do all this extra overtime, but in a minute, y'all about to fall. You know, and the fall is gonna be great for the top elite because they're gonna be the product of slavery. You low level Edomites, y'all gonna be destroyed. Now, hey, if you saved in certain lands that don't get hit, you're gonna be a product too of that slavery of Jacob's beginning. There's no way around that. Because the Israelites was created to rule the earth, not to be ruled. But because of our consequences, we are ruled. Let's get Revelations chapter 2, verse 26 to 27. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. You have to overcome the world, right? And keep the works unto the end. So you have to be diligent, whatever you do. And the main thing that you should be doing in this thing is serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You dedicating your time, your mind, right? Yeah, you might be tired, but it's a fire in you. Like, ah, dang, man, I got to get a lesson in there. So what you going to do? If you don't got a lesson in your mind, you going to read or you going to watch a lesson. to give you encouragement, and you might land me off of that, brother. You might bring out a verse he brought out and do a whole lesson on that, right? And if you call it to do these things, make sure, right, that you're being diligent for the Lord, because you want to do whatsoever for Yahweh Shema Shai, not unto men, right? Because it's really the Lord that's making the men and the women grow in this thing. We can't do shit. Verse 27, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessel of the potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. Come on, man. We're gonna be under Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, and we're gonna be really connected to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? We're not fully connected to the Lord, but through the Spirit we is. Right? If you abide in him, and he's gonna abide in you. Look how beautiful that is. You telling me all I gotta do is believe and walk this thing out, and you gonna abide in me? Right? You gonna move with more spiritual precision. Right? It's Isaiah 60, verse 10 to 12. You're gonna move with more precision, if I'm saying it correctly. More precision. Now, for some of you brothers that might play college football or basketball or football, precision is being even more, I would say precise, but precision, especially when you throw it, the way that you pass. If somebody is doing a post, your precision is going to be on point, where if a defender is right beside them, you throwing it over their shoulder so that they can make it to the right hand, right, so that they can turn and go this way. Or if they doing a streak and a person is right on their back, instead of throwing it to their back, you're going to throw it right in front of them, right? If the defendant is right in front of them, and the player that you throwing it to is behind them, and they can catch, you're gonna throw it higher, or throw it like you're gonna throw it behind their back, where they basically, it's just like basketball where they doing a fadeaway, but in football they leaning back to catch that ball, right? Go look at people catching a dive football from the back, from the side, and then you'll catch what I'm talking about. So this Isaiah 60, verse 10 to 12. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. These strangers in this verse is speaking about the other nations, right? Starting with Esau. They shall build our walls. Israel is going to be torn down and destroyed by the nukes. America is going to be wiped and destroyed and never be built again. And Israel is going to be rebuilt, right? Our kingdom is going to be fine gold. That's the first thing. And their kings, which is the elites, not you young, low peasants, the elites shall minister unto thee, for in thy wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought, right? Let alone riches that they have hidden away, right? Yahweh Shema Shai is about to do a great thing for the elect, a great thing for the children of Israel. If y'all not in the scriptures, what happened in the time of when Israel left Egypt, right? The Lord said that they was going to leave with great possessions, right? We're not leaving with the possessions of freaking Babylon. Babylon going to get destroyed. We're going to have other possessions wherever Esau's, especially look at the bunkers. I bet you they hide in precious jewels, a lot of their riches, because a lot of kingdoms, a lot of their riches came from our temple, the riches that we had under David and Solomon, right? And the nations, Esau keep that. Just like when he go hunt a deer, a lion, a bear, he cut off the head and hang it on the damn wall. You don't think he don't do that with our stuff? They got pictures of us. You think an Edomite was just sitting there drawing Jake? Nah, they drew their image, right, which is forgery, and through the grapevine, men were making portraits, just like what we have in our house. We have portraits of your children, your grandmother, and you looking at old pictures, we got portraits of the apostles, of the teachers, right? Let's get another one. I'm not gonna make this too deep, even though I did a lesson on my channel. Again, I might even do another one. But this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. This is the reversal of slavery. And we already read it in Lamentations chapter 1, verse 20 and 21, or 21 and 22. It says, for Yahweh Shema Shai will have mercy on Jacob. Right? This is as a whole. The Israelites, the Lord is going to have mercy on, and will yet choose Israel. As a nation in the community, we're not called Israel. We're not called descendants of Jacob. But this is a direct, because in the time of Isaiah, Israel had their name still, right? And at the time of Isaiah, the northern kingdom, I believe, is either at this time they was in the hands of the Syrian, and later on they came over here, or they were already over here. It says, and set them in their own land. We're not in our own land yet. So even when you look at both of these things, when we with Yahweh Shai, the Lord, what is saying, 2nd Ezra 17, and then will my chosen be known, right? And when we with the Lord, we're going to be known as the Israelites. Especially when a time when chaos come, people looking for the men of the Lord, when they looking for the real prophets, they going to know that they was teaching the truth. So they is the Israelites. With Yahweh Shai, he's going to set us in our own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, right? And through the Spirit, right? Through the Spirit, like when we go into Moses' son, Gershom, which goes into Gar, it goes in where it says he was born a stranger in a land that was not his, right? And that goes to this word stranger, Gar. And that was used for Moses' son. So this stranger is speaking about Israelites. Where the strangers scattered four corners of the earth. When you read up, that was a comma. And then a colon, I believe, after set us in our own land. So these 2 points above is going to happen. But the last point, the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Those strangers is the Israelites that are scattered four corners of the earth. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh Shema Shai for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives. Now it's giving you who was it talking about in the beginning of that verse. Now some people might say, oh, that's lining that's completely going with the other verse. No, the first verse is dealing with the Israelites. Now when you go into the second verse, it says the people shall take them, right? And who is the people? It's those of the first verse, the Israelites, and bring them to their place. The people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land in the land of Yahweh Shema Shai for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Revelations 13 and 10, right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience in the faith of the saints, right? Right? They're going to be our servants. That lines up with Isaiah 60 and 12. Let me see if we get this. This is Leviticus 25 and 46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. And they shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another in rigor. So this is speaking about the heathen, right? And the heathen that we gonna have, where you go to Zechariah 14, if they don't come up to the high mountain and keep tabernacle, they gonna get hit with a rod, or it's gonna be rain, which is drought, famine. We're gonna deal with them with rigor if they're not in line, and the nations is gonna still be in the flesh, so they're bound to go off, especially Esau, right? Let me just going back to Isaiah 14:1, where it says, he will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right? We taking the kingdom from Esau. They not cleaving. We taking the kingdom from them. All the other idols and all this other BS is gonna be destroyed. It's gonna only the whole world is gonna know the fame of the Lord, just like Rahab. She knew the fame of the Lord what he did to the Egyptians in the Red Sea. So these is Israelites cleaving to the house of Jacob, right? Jake has to be picked up four corners of the earth, right? Even when we speak, when the elders be speaking about the rebels, when we get dropped down and go into the wilderness, right? Romans 9:15. For he have said, wait, Salaki, for he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. The Lord is having compassion with the Israelite strangers. We're strangers right now. We fulfill that word stranger. Jake is scattered four corners of the earth. Now we cleaving back to the ways of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why the Lord said, uh, uh, Abraham, the nation was going to be blessed, right? Because of him. Why? It's because his descendants is scattered four corners of the earth. Shoot, Jake looked like the other nations. Salaki family. Salaki again. So again, I hope y'all caught all that. So Israelite men are still serving in bondage, but soon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai will break these chains and flip the order. We're almost at the finish line. You ever see a race? Have you ever raced where they said, hey, like when we were little kids, they say to the light pole, from this light pole to the other light pole, and you running, you almost at the finish line, and they a little ahead of you. That's like Esau, he ahead of you, and then you pass them right before the finish line, and you won. That's what we doing. Now we in this human veiled body. It do look a little slow, but actually time is fast, because anything written in the scriptures is already done. The Lord already know. He gave multiple prophets, just multiple prophets, visions, right? Dreams of the end time. They seen it. They probably couldn't explain it to the way that we're able to explain most of them right now. They were seeing it. So if they was able to see it in a vision or in a dream, it's already done. It's already done, right? So keep being diligent. Do whatsoever that you're doing, and do what you're doing like you're doing it to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Literally. Keep that in your mind, making your motivation, making your drive, right? Endure because the Lord is watching. Endure because you're doing it for the Lord, right? And if it's not of the Lord, now if it don't pertain to anything that's unrighteous, if it's something unrighteous, you should be rebuking yourself, right? But make sure you're not distracted in things. As much as you dedicate to the Lord, don't dedicate too much for the world. Keep your foot on the gas for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So Lord willing, that was edifying and motivation to the elect to continue to strive in this thing, especially for you men. You are working a double shift, and call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for you brothers that's constantly feeding us, right? So with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Almighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, teaching his word and believing his word, in sound doctrine in the same spirit. Shalom to the Aqua. Lord willing that y'all continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent virtuous wife, and you continue to believe in his truth, in his ministry, and Lord willing the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters out of faith. Shalom, shalom, abba, abba.